But after the significant flooding, wanted to have some decision-making guidance in the document of both wind and water. So you'll see sections towards page, I was just there, I don't know where it went. One second. No, there's a specific section. Yeah, so basically starting on, what page would that be? 28, response suspension threshold. And then it goes into wind-based thresholds and then water, flood response thresholds. And what we're trying to do is make sure that, we saw the devastation, one, from the water caused by Helene, two, the winds caused by Milton, right? That are, even though there are people that need help, we have to ensure responder safety during these type of events. So there are situations where, one, we do have better capabilities now with the high water vehicle and then the light marine unit to get to some places, but there will be those situations that could occur in this area where even the high water vehicle or stuff like that can't get to. So we have to be cognizant of the hazards and then make decisions accordingly. So we did try to put a hurricane wind and water response matrix in the plan. Anywhere from full response to limited response to no response, depending on the situations. So that is brand new to this year's document. And then, like I said, the little package of kind of like a lessons learned from 2024 is in there too. As you guys are well aware, we did receive notification from Pasadena Community Church that facility would not be available this year should we need a secondary EOC. So the plan would be to, as long as we can, use the fire station as our, right, it's always been our primary EOC, Emergency Operations Center. And then the next step, should we have to leave, would be to go directly to our tertiary EOC, which is St. Pete.
What determines if you have to leave the fire station?
So if there's an evacuation order given for this community, we must also evacuate. And we always talked about why with the folks, but one of the lessons we learned from Helene, if you think about it, if we would have stayed where we were, we would not have been able to go anywhere to do anything. Being at the church, at least we could come as far as we could to Water's Edge and do some work during the event. Now,
When are they starting to take that down? I mean, is that what they're gonna do at the church?
Yeah, it'll be a while. We're still working on it.
But they won't let us use it even so.
the LEC, because that is where the preschool was going to move to, there's
Oh, that's what
construction
their
going
move
in
is.
inside, and they
Yeah.
just felt it was too much during the construction process, that if we were going to be there, I think if you look at Helene and the length of time we were in there, that put it was a whole new perspective for them.
Yeah.
They were used to us activating, going there, a day and a half, 2 days, and then we'd be gone. When you're there for 2 weeks, it's a whole different animal, right? So, but as far as I understand, once that's done, then we're going to go back, look at the new layout, and be back in there. And not that Midtown is not a good, safe facility. My concern from public safety is the distance it is away, right? We're not on that.
Is that the one on 66th Street?
No, it's in downtown St. Pete.
It's by the Trop.
Yeah, by Tropicana Field. Yeah, we tried this one on Fifth Avenue, and they don't want us in that one. College, the higher ups.
Yeah.
It was that building they would allow us to use. Yeah, this one would at least be a little bit closer, but
The Jewish synagogue, couldn't you be in there? The Jewish synagogue is right across from Pasadena.
yeah, I don't know what the wind structure or the space is. Remember, it's 3 cities, so it has to be.
Yeah,
rather
that's
large.
true, yeah.
And there is benefits from working together, right, and collaborating in that type of event, so.
I mean, if there's water around, no matter where you are, you're still not gonna be able to, you can get out with the high water thing, right? But you can't take the big truck out or anything.
Yeah, very
So-
limited to what level of water that can go in.
Yeah.
Because if you get water in the pump and the electronics, you could ruin a $1 million fire truck pretty easy. Not to mention, it's a diesel with the exhaust low, it would simply stall out and then you're stuck. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, when they're designed, they weren't really designed for, water.
Coastal cities.
You should have got like a duck truck. You know, those ducks
Like they
that
have in Boston.
go on the road and then they go in the water? I guess they don't have
Well,
one.
if you tell me what the budget is.
You open that
Joe
door.
wants a
You
duck
would,
truck.
Start that as we head in the budget.
You would think they would make a fire truck like that, though.
Yeah, I mean,
For these kind of areas.
Yeah.
All right. Is that the only big change in there?
Those were the big changes. Besides, some of the checklist items got input from Finance and CID, and so we changed some of the things that, one, they're doing or bringing with them. And then, Terry, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we got damage assessment training tomorrow, right?
Mine's today, but there's 3 different days.
Okay,
Mine's Saturday.
gotcha. And then I'll go tomorrow. So, yeah, it's that season. We're really ramping up with Pinellas County Emergency Management, too, to start the preseason retraining process. Okay,
Okay. Sounds good.
all right.
Awesome.
And then was there another item, or did we go straight into department head reports, and if so, would you like me to do that?
sure,
Yes, we'll go straight with you.
sure.
No, I hit X instead of open. Give me 1 second here.
Just acting up today. You have to send me that out.
So as far as the staffing goes, we did have a retirement of a company officer, Lieutenant Rasmussen, and then therefore we had a promotion. Firefighter paramedic Kevin Massey was moved to fire lieutenant paramedic. Gave you a little bit of detail of that in the report. Prevention activities are marching along, and we do seem to be finally caught up on the post-storm, right? We had several occupancies that long-term repair of storm damage, therefore it affected some of their fire inspections, but we're caught up on that. The Brycer program seems to be doing a pretty good job. I still get some calls from time to time from people that are confused, but once we work through it, they understand why they're getting the automatic notifications, and it keeps them on their schedule as far as like sprinkler inspections, fire alarm inspections, even kitchen hood cleaning inspections and suppression in the hood systems for restaurants. So, yeah, that was a good benefit we picked up there. And then DC and I went to a pretty significant tabletop exercise at the county EOC, and it was actually for like the Tri-County area. It's put on by Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council. It's called Operation Phoenix, and the whole thing is what would we do should a Category 5 type storm directly affect us here in the Bay Area. It's got like the most horrific storm on the worst case possible path, where you're talking just devastating damage to this area. So it was fun to go through some of those. Maybe fun's the wrong word. It was interesting to go through some of those worst case scenarios and how significantly that would impact our area. We're still a little down on call volume, but that's because there's still large scale communities in our area that haven't fully repopulated post-storm. So it's
So the old fountains, when are they planning to be totally operational? They're still not, right?
the nursing home is open, but as far as the
The
two
Springs?
20-story towers, the Springs is
Yeah.
open, yep.
They're
But
still
the other
not.
two buildings, I don't know anything about.
Wow.
Yeah, and of course, 6800 still empty.
We'll ask Terry when she comes up.
Okay. But when you're talking nursing homes and senior living and call volume, right, that's gonna
Sure.
make that difference.
Well, and Lutheran Tower's still out.
Response times look good, though. If you look at the response time reliability report, we love it when our mutual aid partners also hold up their end of the bargain on that, too. So you can see, really, no matter who ran in our area, we had some pretty good response times. Keep an eye on that.
So I'm just curious, the medical incident special, the last one on your response time list, what is a medical incident special that took 6 minutes? The rest of them all make sense to me, I just didn't know what that was.
Incident Special. I would have to look because
It's
that's
not
a
that
one-off,
important.
right?
Yeah,
That's
it is a
call.
one-off, yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like it was really close to the firehouse and, 3 minutes response time. But, okay, no, it's not important. It was just a curiosity.
Yeah, we weren't involved very long, right? When you look at most calls are gonna average 20 to 30 minutes, 6 minutes, so it couldn't have been something too important, but yeah, I can look into that.
No.
Just wonder if it's like an animal bite or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a wild guess, I could look into it.
Yeah.
I thought it was very nice, our crews went out to the large USF fire at the Marine Lab, and we got a very nice letter from Chief Watts of St. Petersburg Fire Rescue,
That
so.
was awesome.
Yeah.
So is that because of the size of the fire and they reach out further, like for more fire departments to come out? Because you would think
No,
they would
that's a
have
good-
enough
Yeah, it's a good
fire
question.
stations in St. Pete?
What happens is the more alarms you go, each alarm is gonna have a specific cadre of apparatus. Like first alarm's usually 3 engine, 1 truck, a rescue squad, 2 DCs. So as you build that, because we have a truck here at Station 20, there's less trucks countywide. So once you go like third, fourth alarm, you're actually gonna pull trucks from further away because there just aren't as many trucks as engines. So it's kind of a numbers game. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's good for us because, you know, you're getting experience and, you know, honing your skills in situations that if we had an engine, we
Yeah.
would not have been there, so. Yeah, and then you see that they obviously did a good job because they get,
Yeah, the videos are pretty wild.
yeah.
Different color flames,
Yeah, really.
the chemicals and stuff.
Yeah, our truck is really good being and it's unique for these type of fires being the single axle. It's not as big as some of the others, but because it's a single axle, it's very maneuverable. And then we have, Suffolk does a great job with their pump and stream. So most departments who call us for auto aid are really impressed by, you know, where we can place the water and how effectively we can do that. So, yeah, it's a pretty neat apparatus.
So what's the difference between an engine and a truck?
Sure.
Just say the two of them.
So it all goes to NFPA 1901 and how they describe fire apparatus. So an
Okay.
engine basically has to have a pump and water on the vehicle
Okay.
in a way to direct that water, right?
All right.
A truck has to have a ladder and a complement of ground ladders.
Oh, okay.
Now, here's the kicker, though. You're gonna love this. So we're actually, in the county, we're dispatched as a truck because we have the elevated platform, but we're a quint apparatus, meaning we can do both.
Oh,
We have
okay.
a pump, we have hose, we have water, and we have a ladder.
Okay.
Go anywhere, do anything, kind of thing,
Okay.
yeah.
I was impressed Saturday at your fire thing.
Oh.
Some of the trucks that you have there, I mean, people do not realize all that you have and all the equipment that's on there, even when, they said when something caves in and the things that you put down to get somebody out, and then your cooling room, oh my gosh, that was really something.
And that 100-foot ladder that they have
Oh,
in
yeah.
St. Pete, oh my God.
Yep, that is.
They were taking people up on
I know they
that.
were gonna take me up, but it got toward the end and it was getting so hot, I wasn't going.
And the way they have to
Get closer to the
mount the
sun that
truck,
Yeah,
so for that ladder to be able, and I guess that ladder can swing too, right?
Yeah, there's a tiller truck, I know, in Clearwater, I'm not sure if St. Pete has
Oh,
one.
was that, maybe it was Clearwater, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 110 feet.
I think if people came and saw, that is why trucks cost the price that they cost. People have no idea, you know?
Which, spoiler alert, we will be starting to throw one into the future budgets here, so,
Just get ready to ask you that. What it takes to build them, they're
Yeah.
probably looking to start that process.
yeah.
What are they, about 1.6 now?
Well,
Just as a ballpark.
yeah, that's where our budget is. Unfortunately, Seminole just bought a 100-footer off the shelf, non-custom, and paid $2 million. So that makes me really nervous, yeah.
Or it'd be 2.5 by the time we get there.
No, hopefully not. We're, like I said, theirs is the 100-footer, ours is single axle smaller. They have the tandem axle, really heavy duty. Yeah, we try to, one, for the quint purposes, and then also because it is an ALS unit going to medical calls. We have to kind of think multifaceted with ours, so.
Do we have that compartment in the bumper in the front that has all the tools and stuff in
We
it?
don't carry tools on our front bumper, we carry crosslays in our front bumper.
Carry what?
Crosslays, pre-connected hose lines,
Oh,
attack
okay.
lines.
Yeah, because I hadn't seen that before,
Yeah,
but
it's actually
they
a,
have like the serious tools in that
Ours are
front
in the
bumper.
back.
Yeah.
but yeah, when you put your crosslays down low, we found it reduces back injury and falls. Instead of going up overhead, shoulders, if you can grab it at your waist, yeah. So it's a really good use of a bumper area, yeah.
It was interesting.
It was very.
Not as good as ours, but it's pretty nice.
Nothing's as nice.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Oh, they finally, when I wrote this, the coil was in, route for the, dedicated outside air system. They are in the process of installing it, so hopefully everything's up and running with a new copper coil instead of aluminum coil. And we can put that one to bed. And then, you guys saw that, we did receive the award, on Friday from Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council for the,
Very nice, sir.
Awesome.
mitigation process. Yeah, it's pretty neat, actually, so. yeah. So a lot of information there. Any questions on specifically?
Straightforward.
Yeah.
Anybody? Okay.
Not on that part, we'll get the others I do.
Oh, not me, though?
No, wait. On the incidents, the sheriff's report.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Oh,
yes. What is your question, sir?
Attempted murder, what's that all about? I've never seen that one before. As an incident in our city, do you know any more about that, or is it just one of those?
Probably more of those than we know about.
Yeah, well,
If you're married.
Attempted murder one.
speaking from experience, Gail,
No, I don't remember a specific report on that, so I'll have to.
the
look.
January
Yeah,
26th,
see that.
if you go to page 2 of that report,
Yeah, I see that now.
murder attempted.
Yeah, one.
Then the other thing that I was curious about is prisoner transport. Do they like sometimes stage to put prisoners, transfer from something here? Because I mean, one of these reports, they transported more prisoners than they arrested all month. So I was curious about that.
Why they would be coming, or maybe if they're busy, they're just using them for that.
Well,
That's a good
the reason
question.
I ask is I have seen that once before where a sheriff's van is here and they're loading up prisoners. So I wonder if they have, if that's counted in our stats because they've stopped here to take maybe a prisoner out of the, vehicle from St. Pete Beach and offloaded him here, so.
It's certainly possible to keep the deputies on the beach or to
Yeah.
keep our deputies
Okay.
here. They may transfer them over to a van. I could find out. Those are easy questions to
Just
find.
curious, nothing major.
Okay.
Appreciate it though.
You're welcome.
You have a new contact there, right?
I do.
Yeah.
His name is escaping me right now, but I can get it for you.
While we're on the subject of the sheriff's office, have we looked into the new boating ordinance that allows municipalities to, I guess, deal with the at-risk vessels a little bit more aggressively? Do you have any?
Saw that on the news,
Yeah.
where I got it from. It looked like, I was wondering if that was something we could do, because it says near Anchorage. And I'm not sure how that applies. Does that mean if they have an Anchorage area that they
That's
can't
one
be there?
component of it,
But
like they can't anchor within 1 mile of an actual anchor, so they have to take advantage of the anchors. But the other part was it said something along the lines that municipalities within their waters have more authority and leeway. Obviously, we, law enforcement with the sheriff, but I just wondered if we had any update on, that allows them to maybe be more aggressive in, marking these derelict like that risk boats. Because it seems like that was the intention.
Wasn't it?
yeah, but they had to get
Yeah.
a license or a permit from the state to be there, and I think it's up to like 14 days or something, and then they had to get another one or whatever. Yeah, it was an interesting rule, but the Gulfport was really pushing it, of course.
Do we get a legal opinion on that and what
Yeah.
it helps? if you
I know
look
that the
at it?
sheriff's office is aware of it. Can we check with them and see if they can have somebody give us an update on on how it's changing their authorities and what they're doing differently, if anything?
Yes, do we have that I could send as like a question or report to Judy?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep, we will work on that. Michael Gattarello, Captain Gattarello is our new contact for PCSO.
Yeah.
They're having a lot of promotion, so as we get someone and then they get promoted, we're getting filled in, so. But he's been great to work with for like the block party and stuff, so. All right.
Anybody else? Great, all right.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Let's go right for the money. Where's that finance lady at? I think I want Heather up.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
I don't want to talk about a $2 million fire truck anymore today.
So, my report starts with two very short descriptions that take up a lot of my time every day. I've been working with the auditors on the audit and working with FEMA to push our projects forward. Those two activities take up a lot of my time, but we're getting through it. This wasn't included in the attachments, but I have an addendum to our agreement with the auditors today. I have the authority to sign it, but I didn't feel comfortable with signing it without telling you first. This is additional work that you engaged them to do last year as well. It's additional note disclosures in the audit report. I had high hopes that I would have the time to do them myself and we wouldn't have to incur this additional cost this year, but just getting my bearings and everything with FEMA especially, I don't have the time to get these done in time. So they've given us the same price that they gave us last year. It's $13,500 in addition to the agreed upon audit fee. When this engagement time period, because you have a multi-year contract with these auditors, I will be changing the things, the aspects in the RFP, so that we don't encounter this in the future. I don't know that the previous finance department understood that this was going to be coming. When they got the responses to the audit RFP, that this wasn't included in that. So I don't think that it was really anticipated that this was going to be an additional cost every single year. Once the audit report comes, I'll definitely highlight those areas that this additional work represents. But it's the largest note disclosures. So you have Florida Municipal Pension, you have Florida Retirement System, and you have the fire pension. And there's a lot of required disclosures that go along with those, along with OPEB, which is other post-employment benefits. So there's very technical calculations, a lot of disclosures that it's required to be in your audit report. So I was just kind of bringing this to your attention.
So do we have, I remember when we did that contract, the ability to get another auditor if we decide to do that with notice to them? No, we're not locked in to
Without looking at it, my recollection is yes.
I remember we talked about that because, who knows, maybe, we were kind of rookies picking an auditor and we didn't get a lot of direction on, or detail on, they're selling you how wonderful they are, and you don't really have a professional that can help you to see if that's all really what you want.
I can look into the notice provision.
Yeah, because who knows? We may want to change once you dig in a little deeper to that. So.
Well, it's not a knock against CBIZ. I don't think that I think that they're doing a fine job. The people that I've worked with have been good. And I say worked with, it's entirely remote. I've spoken to them very briefly a few times, but everything is through this electronic portal. I upload, they have a list of things by section. I upload documents, they give comments back. They request additional information, I upload it. It's all electronic. It's not like your previous auditors, you had them forever. I worked there. So that's how I
There's always
came to
somebody
understand.
here.
There was.
Yeah.
They did in person. Their take on these note disclosures was different than CBIZ's. They, because we get the information from different sources, we have to put it in a certain, whoever's doing these note disclosures, have to put it in a certain format to comply with the rules. And your previous auditors did that out of a convenience to you. And they considered that okay. CBIZ does not feel like they signed up for that.
So how long is the current contract for?
This year,
With a 5?
yeah, this
But
year will be
there's
your
a
second.
clause that
But you can terminate.
either,
Oh, yeah,
either one
termination
can
clauses.
determine with
Well,
a reasonably
yeah.
short period of time.
Where I'm going is it worth it to go back to them and see if we could get a better price if we were to add that to be done every year? Or if you think that next year you're gonna have time to do it yourself?
I'm hoping that I do. I'm hoping that
So-
next year I will have the opportunity to do that. And it's kind of it's a catch-22, I feel like. When you guys chose this audit firm, you had your agreed upon fees and you didn't know that this was gonna be coming. And that's not to say, like, I don't know the other people that bid on this job. Would they have included this in the cost that they gave us, or would they have?
We wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, you wouldn't have known that. And, you know, to defend Jim too, he did not anticipate them coming back and doing this either. I'm sure that he went into this contract thinking that they were going to provide the same services, albeit remotely. You know, they did know that that was going to be a change. And I don't mind that. You know, like I said, I do think that they're doing a thorough audit. I think that they're doing a fine job. It kind of stinks for them to come back and us have to pay this additional money, especially, and I'm kicking myself too, because I really did hope that I would have the time to do it, but I mean.
Well, and you're down a person.
We're down
as
a
well.
person. Finalizing the FEMA claims, that's my next line item on my report. So it's a time thing, so I need to sign
So
it.
are you doing a lot more scanning now since it's remote to send them things? So
Yeah.
they don't send somebody here to pick up some boxes and take it back, stuff like that?
No.
They want it all scanned and sent to them?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which is okay. I mean, like, we have a lot of documentation electronically anyway. So, like, for example, they picked a date, like, they picked a random sample of dates. They wanted the cash receipts from those days. Well, we have that scanned in, so we just had to go back to that day, you know, pull the file out and make a big list and then upload it to where it needs to go. So your systems that are in place for electronic data storage, that enabled us to do this audit remotely. If it was how it used to be and everything was on paper only, I mean, that it would have been really, really difficult to.
Yeah, okay. And as far as, do we have an ad out for your missing person yet? or not?
I turned in.
Missing
my-
person.
They on a milk carton?
It's
right.
running on Sunday.
It's gonna start running on
It's
Sunday.
running on
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not online yet or anything? on our stuff, okay.
Well, and you know, I am anxious to get somebody in here too, but that takes time. You know,
That's training too, it
It's
takes more time to do that.
yes.
Okay.
And to adjust, you know, the activities that the three of us have been doing and absorbing to reallocate the work, you know, it's gonna take some planning and coordination, but we'll get it. My team has been excellent. I mean, they're doing a great job. So I'll have to sign this for CBIZ. Like I said, $13,500. I'll get it back to them. We paid a progress billing just yesterday. They seem to have gotten through a lot of the information really quickly. And so I have to ask for one more month's extension for the GFOA award, but I am hoping that we will have it done on time by the end of June. So I'm going to follow up with CBIZ and just make sure that I'm not dreaming that. But it seems to me that we've made a lot of progress on getting the stuff to them to get everything submitted in time. And that's a big accomplishment for your city. You've been out of compliance with the state deadline for quite some time.
And thank you for the calendar.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, Carly had given us hers for the meetings, and then I saw yours, and it had all the extra stuff, and I could go ahead and put a little calendar.
Good, good. Yes, I was gonna get to that too. So that was the audit update. FEMA. Our rep that we have right now is very nice. She's very helpful. She's very organized. The trouble is that they're disallowing some of our costs. So, for example, I just found out within the last couple of days, we had one project called Parks. So it had fencing and new signs and dog waste bins, and some of the trees were taken down. So she wanted to know the GPS coordinates of the dog waste stations, and she can't see that on Google Earth, so could I please send her a picture? And what's the GPS start and stop of the fence out here behind the playground? And okay, so Sean has helped me tremendously with all that. And all the guys in Public Works, you know, I need you to go and take a picture of the dog waste station today. So they have. I mean, they've been really, really helpful. Only for her to come back and, you know, why'd you have to take down this tree? Okay, you know, so I answer, I give all this explanation. They come back and she says, well, the trees, we're not going to pay for the trees. That's considered debris. And under debris, there's this whole other set of rules where you have to have your hauler give the load tickets from when they took it to the dump and how much did it weigh and when did they take it, and we didn't do that. We hired a tree company.
Unbelievable. It is unbelievable.
Possibly keep records like that in the middle of a storm, like in the.
How much of that branch weight you just took away?
Well, but let
I
me
don't
clarify,
understand why Sean couldn't take
like,
care
my
of it.
understanding on these trees was they were taken down, they were not, it's not like the tree fell in the storm, which would have then made it storm debris.
It died.
It died, and so we had to have it taken down, and now they're saying that that should have been treated like debris, but who would have thought that?
Right.
It died as a result of
It
salt
died as a
water
result of
intrusion.
the storm,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
we
it's
had to
still
take
sand.
it out.
Salt water.
Yeah.
That to me is not
I mean,
storm debris, so
right.
if
That's
we
a
didn't have it
given.
taken by a hauler, the haulers were done, you know,
That's
it,
crazy.
so it's more complicated than it even sounds, where it's like you wouldn't have considered it debris back then, but they're considering it debris now.
Good way to get out of paying.
That's it, and that's, I think, you know, that's their job, is they're
Yeah.
trying to push it back.
Yeah.
The most recent thing that I got yesterday, which I feel like we're making progress on, they did not want to pay for the comfort stations. They said that that was an increase in our operating costs and that that was not allowable. Well, I fired right back, and I said, oh, yes, it is. You know, I had all the buzzwords that I needed to have and stuff, and she called me in no time. She called and she said that she was going to escalate that to her management and that, and because I'm like, what do you mean? What do you like?
We are not letting that go.
We are
I'm
not
gonna let
letting
you-
that
I'm
go.
gonna let you know
Absolutely.
right
What do you
now.
think?
That is
How much was the
$200,000, we are not letting that go.
What was the bottom line on that?
$203,000.
We are not letting it go.
No, so I reached out to the people that did the comfort stations. I need some additional information from them, and you know, it is just
It's a
so
fight
time.
to the
It's a
finish
fight.
on everything.
Yeah, it is.
They were
It
very
is.
helpful, because even some people asked, they didn't know what to do. I told them we had this, go talk to someone there, and a lot of people came
Yeah.
They
because they
did.
were there, you know?
Well, that was part of my email back to her yesterday. Like, there were FEMA people inside of the comfort stations. Like, you know, they were providing information to our residents from that location. So, no, it
Well,
was,
and
it was a big-
wasn't there also, because of the two storms, they had to break up the
Yes.
trash, and this was from Milton, and this
Yeah,
was
they
from
did.
Helene?
Yep.
I mean, things that happen within weeks of each other, and they want that information, it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's it too. So like the Department of Homeland Security was shut down for quite some time. The end of April, that, you know, they got their funding back, so there are restrictions on. So in FEMA, they were restricted in what they could work on. They were only allowed to work on Helene projects that were considered Cat A. So now that restriction has been lifted, and that's why we're getting to move forward with these other projects. So as of right now, we have, our project manager has not looked at our Milton projects at all. So that's gonna be my next, task. Yeah, that's a nice way to put it.
Next nightmare,
And that's where our big money is. That is where our debris is, you
because
know.
of the winds and everything.
Well, and it's the time period. It's like the period of performance, they call it. And there's guidance for overlapping disasters, which covers us. So what she wanted me to do at one time was to withdraw our debris project under Helene, because they didn't actually pick up until after Milton. And I said, no, I wasn't comfortable doing that, because if I withdraw it, then I can never open it back up. And I don't want them to say that,
It's
you know,
terrifying. Yeah.
it is. And like, you know, I'm kind of tiptoeing around it with the, you know, to explain to her, I'm not ready to do that, because I want you to be able to tell me first that the time period that debris was picked up, it will be covered under Milton, because if it was a day too early, I need to keep that Helene project open so that I can submit it under that. So,
The stars are so close together, I don't know how they expected anybody to get on this something.
It's
before that storm
ridiculous.
hit. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm working through it. But I kind of laughed when I picked up my report this morning, and I thought, working with the auditors, working with FEMA, it's a very short description for a lot of my time. So, okay, so I'll get that engagement letter submitted for the audit. I'm gonna continue pushing forward with FEMA. We are doing a lot of electronic payments now, instead of
Yes,
writing
we
checks
are.
for everything, so we're happy about that. And then underneath that is like significant transactions that happened during this quarter. the most like a lot of it is routine things, but the most interesting thing that you wouldn't have had any way to know this. So you used to have the Florida Municipal Pension. You currently only have 2 employees participating in that old pension plan because when the city went back to FRS, they were given the option. And so you only have 2 now. Well, what happens is the people that used to work here, they contributed, the city contributed, but if they were not fully vested in all of the money that the city put in, we can use it. We, instead of us paying in every month for those remaining 2 participants, we can use that old forfeited money. So it was, paperwork I had to send in and stuff like that. But, there was $12,000, over $12,000. So that's great. It's kind of found money.
I was gonna say, how do you find something like that?
Well,
Is it,
I know that it exists.
okay, all right.
So, I just, I reached out to the Florida League of Cities. They're wonderful to work with. They administer the Florida Municipal Pension.
Okay.
And so you just fill out paperwork and you say, yep. And then now every month, instead of us, when we submit the contribution for the 2 participants, instead of it coming out of our bank account, you have to, tag it that you're taking it out of old forfeitures. So that's almost a whole year's worth of contributions,
Excellent.
So
Okay.
it's great. It is. So we're tracking that. Happy that we came across that.
Okay.
We got a little bit of insurance money, $51,000 from Milton for the annex building and the fire station. So I need to follow up with our insurance carrier. They had come out and they looked at the elevator in this building because they needed to put eyes on it. Like the Public Works had to come and open it because it's ruined inside. But they needed their inspector to put eyes on it, verify that there was water damage inside of there. So that's, quite a bit of money. But it's another thing. There's a lot of follow-up, a lot of communication, so we're working through that as well. If you guys have any questions on this page. Okay.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So then the next 2 pages are my normal report, the year-to-date budget to actual. With this through March, everything should be at about, we would expect like the expenses to be right at 50%, which they are. The special events is high because of the timing of your special events, so I'm not concerned with that at all. Everything else is trending really close to where it should be. On the revenue side, we expect the ad valorem to be really high. We get a lot of that money, if not all of it, earlier in the year. And then, as you can see, the other things are trending right around that halfway mark, except for business tax registrations are up. So I'm happy to see that.
So can I just so I understand a little bit better in revenues, can you explain to me what public service taxes are and what franchise fees we get?
Yeah, so we get public service taxes. It's like utility taxes.
Oh, okay.
And then the same for franchise fees. So like Duke Energy sends us electric franchise fees and municipal utility taxes.
Okay, so that comes to us. All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep. So pretty straightforward, nothing really unusual in here. You will see that like the other category is a little high. That's where the $51,700 of the insurance money went in. So it was just not anticipated.
So the business tax registration being up, is that just because of new businesses coming in?
Well, Terry would be able to speak to that a little bit better, but I do know, just anecdotally from talking to her, what your fee structure keys off on a lot of these big businesses is their merchandise. So if the businesses come in and they sign their affidavit that their merchandise is higher, their business tax receipt is higher. So that can sway things a lot.
Okay, anybody got any further questions?
No?
Okay,
All right.
the next page is, cash and investments. You're down a little bit, which is what we expect. Again, we get a lot of money early in the year, and then we spend it down as the year goes along. So from the last report that I gave you, you're down 1%, about $203,000 less than the last time I gave you this report. I'm not concerned about that. Like I said, that is the expected trend through the fiscal year. The most money so we used to have that Wells Fargo Securities. Remember I told you they dumped us? So we moved that money into the SBA, and as you can see, the Florida Prime accounts are by far the largest investment. They're performing fine. I think next month you have a couple small CDs that are set to renew, so I'll check the interest rates, maybe shop it around a little and see if we want to do that.
Okay.
And finally, like the mayor brought up earlier, is your budget calendar. I wanted to put this in front of you just to make it known. We would like to have Tuesday budget workshops in the month of June. The big public hearings are in September. Those are highlighted in blue. It's really important that you guys make yourselves available for those. I briefly talked to my commissioner about this, that your budget schedule with having everything in June is very early. So I know going into this process that when we come back in August, I'm going to have changes. I have to. June 1st, you get the first estimate of taxable values. You don't get the certified copy until July 1st. I put those on here too. So I won't know until July 1st what we can expect in ad valorem. I've reached out to like our insurance people. They don't have a good estimate of changes yet. There's just so much unknowns. I'm going to do the best that I can. And then we'll sort out a lot too during the budget workshops in June, so that I can know what big projects you're anticipating, changes in compensation, those kinds of things. But there are a lot of external people that tell us what the costs are going to be, the sheriff, the sanitation people, all those things. So I'll try to highlight those as we get through the process to kind of flag them and let you know this is likely going to change.
So we really do have to come up with a tentative millage rate by that date, by July 1st. Even though we don't have all the information we need.
That's just for the trim notice, right?
Yeah, that's.
And that's the highest, so that's what goes out on the mailings, those trim notices. That's the highest that it could possibly
You
be.
pick the one then, and then we adjust.
But it has to be that
adjust it
date.
after we get the final.
It has to be that date, okay.
Yeah. You can always, and that's what you guys did last year, like you would have published a much higher millage rate on your trim notices, and then you adopted a much lower rate, and that's okay, you can do that. But we do need to publish what the highest it would possibly be. I don't know if you can picture that mailing. It's like, here's what it would be if everything stays the same. Here's what,
You
yeah.
got the
Yeah.
rollback rate, you
Yeah.
got everything on that.
So we'll get it together. The departments have been wonderful. We have a good head start on the budget, the capital projects that we're anticipating, operating costs, things like that. So I think that we're in good shape to hit the ground running in June. I don't know that we'll necessarily need all of these budget workshops, but I just wanted to put them in front of you so that you could maybe keep it in mind for your calendars and your summer vacations. So,
Very thorough. I like your reports. It's so easy to read.
oh, thank
Yes,
you.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a new world.
Yes.
The new world. Wait till you see the budget document. I think you'll like that too.
Oh, really? Good.
Training session.
No, it'll be very easy to
You
follow.
don't have to like count the paper clips or anything like
No.
that? Okay, that's good.
Okay. Well,
Any-
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
We're going to jump right on Shaw and Public Works.
Hey.
I'm gonna make it simple on you. Do
And
you have
I'm
any
just gonna say,
questions?
why can't you get rid of the peacocks?
Yeah.
People are insane,
I know.
calling the
That was
city
funny.
to get rid of the
I
peacock.
liked
it,
I mean, it is what it is,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, I mean, there were 7 of them at
I
our
mean,
shop
you don't wanna
yesterday.
tempt
Were
them,
there really?
because
Yeah.
they'll find a way to get rid of the
That's-
peacocks,
Here's
if
the
you know
thing.
what I mean.
Here's the whole thing though. So, I watch what happens over in Gulfport quite a bit. So they've got the peacocks, and they are celebrating this stuff. They're marching up and down the streets with the peacocks. Over here, they're like, let's get rid of the peacocks, they gotta go. And I'm like,
I tell you
what
what,
a difference
they're
in just a
loud.
few blocks make, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, they really are noisy and they're messy.
Yeah. Oh,
And
well,
they get up on people's cars and scratch the cars. I mean, I can see why people are
I
upset
mean, that was
about
one of the
but it hasn't
conversations.
happened yet.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just what could happen.
And they seem to be like, 5 of them
Right, that's
were
fine.
walking down the street.
Five
They were
came running
standing
through our
at the end of
backyard like
Yeah,
last
yeah.
week.
They were standing at the end of the dock when I used to walk Sanford and would not let me come up. And I said, you know what? I live here, you don't. You need to get out of the way. And that thing just,
Yeah, they were, they were yesterday, they were walking down the alley, they were right by the shop, and they were walking through the grass, and then they just disappeared, I don't know where they went. It's like,
I read somewhere hundreds of years ago, they used them as like guard dogs and stuff. They were just pretty.
I tell you what, they're pretty
Aggressive,
tame,
huh?
because one of my guys come around the bend, and they probably couldn't have been from me and Carly away from, and they just kinda looked at them, didn't start them, they just kept on going.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't care.
They're in my drive, because I drive past like Admiral Ferry, you know, the
Mhm.
brick area.
Mhm.
I have to get out of the car and like do this. They don't want to move, like they don't care. You're literally like, can you just get out of this street? And they just like stare at you. They're not afraid of people.
I'm on Park a lot, and one just literally, I mean, I'm surprised I didn't run it over.
Yeah,
I
they just,
I jammed on the brakes that
yeah,
you
they're,
know.
But yeah, I mean, they're starting everywhere, because I mean, even
Yeah.
my house, I was backing out 2 Fridays ago, and I'm like, look at that, they come around the hedges and they're walking right up in the front
Must
yard.
be
At
mating
that point, it was
season.
just 2 of them,
If
but
somebody's concerned about them being on their property, they just have to get a hold of some specialty bird.
that, yeah, I mean, that's Public Works ain't the bird police. We gotta be doing enough,
they
but
want you
that's
to
not
bring
one
out
of
your
them.
lasso and
Yeah.
Crazy.
But I think, they come and then they're gone.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything else other than that couple times, and they were both in the same day, when we got the calls about them being out there, and I haven't heard anything else, and I haven't seen them out there, so they, come and
And they
go.
come and go, it's seasonal type thing.
Well, I'm guessing it's a good thing is they haven't called 911 on us. You know, that wasn't on Chief's report.
But yeah, there's nothing really crazy in here.
So nothing crazy. I mean, I've been here over a year and I feel like I should know this, but 3/16/26 received 12 sunshine tickets.
Oh,
Can you tell me-
Sunshine, those are, and most of those are for the people that are doing the directional boring. Any kind of construction work is done, Sunshine tickets, we have to go mark utilities, our underground utilities, so they're not damaged.
Okay,
And that's what it is. So if you're out and you see green flags and purple flags and all that, that's on top of our utilities that
Okay.
we mark. So when the contractors come, they know
They
where.
don't tear
so
into
Sunshine
everything.
is the company that's doing it? or-
Well, no, we mark them. They
This is
send
what
us the
it's called.
tickets.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
because
just
you
a
have to
name.
call
Just
before
we
you
know
dig.
where all the stuff is.
Yeah, and it's a law, like if you're gonna dig in your yard, if you're putting
Right.
trees up, you need to call that so we can mark utilities. I mean, it's a law, because if you hit something and not call that, the fines could be significant depending on what you hit.
Okay. Because then I'm going down and 4/16 says received 328 tickets.
That was in 2025.
Yeah. So that's
So-
for the whole year. You had to go out and do 328 marking of underground utility calls.
Yeah.
Wow.
And some
All
of them are, a quarter mile long or whatever. It's not
Okay.
like just a house. It could be from, on Pasadena Avenue, for example, Park Street to the hospital. They want
Okay.
everything marked that we have.
All right.
So, I mean, sometimes
Well,
it's
it's not
something like,
just you, it's other companies that.
well, everybody, yeah, but I mean, we mark what
Right, you
we
do what
own,
we have.
and then St. Pete comes to do their water, the gas company, Duke Energy, if they got underground,
Electric.
Verizon and all of that, yeah, I mean, everybody has their own stuff, but, we just mark what we own.
So that's what that is. All right.
Mhm.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, no, we do a lot of that.
Have you had any more update on the FDOT and the bridge work?
Nope, not since the last, that's it. Like I said, we won't know, I'm surprised we even get that. Usually we won't know until they show up to work. Yeah, no, I
They
mean,
just put it on the schedule and however far
And-
behind they get.
mhm,
It's just
yeah.
kind of, because people always ask, well, why are you doing it during the height of the season?
Mhm.
Well, we're not, but
It's not us.
it's
I mean,
where,
we don't
it's
have a
where
say
it
in
ended
that.
up. They got held up on other
Mhm.
jobs and it happened when it happened.
Yeah, because we were supposed to, the paving contractor was supposed to start tomorrow on Shore Drive. Just the rains, I got a phone call, said, hey, can we move that till after Memorial Day? Memorial Day? Labor Day? Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
And
Memorial Day
just for the
coming up.
fact that they're not, got the road half done for the holiday weekend. So they're gonna come, so they'll start next Tuesday and then, bang it out. But it'll be hectic for a few days on Shore Drive coming in and out, but, it won't,
How much of that are they gonna do?
they're gonna do from Pasadena Avenue all the way to the bridge.
Oh,
The
okay,
whole,
okay.
yeah, the whole
All
thing.
right, yeah, nice. And that's new
Mhm.
asphalt?
Yep, they'll mill and then pave and restripe.
Wow.
Yep, and my guys yesterday, because they were supposed to come Wednesday, we had the couple reclaim valves that we had to raise, so we poured concrete around them, and, because there was a break there at one point, and after it all settled, so they'll fix that, so when it's all done, it'll be, you know, be a nice racetrack.
Okay, anybody? All right, thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
All right, CID, get Terry up. Good morning. Oh, nice report. Good information.
So we're still waiting on our CRS update. I don't know when that's gonna happen. I feel like I've been saying that for a year.
What have been, their funding's been approved and everything? Is that true?
Yeah, but now they have to pick up where they left off, and
Right.
hopefully it won't take much longer, but, yeah, we'll see. I guess the big thing on my list is the second item, which is House Bill 803, that was approved. So one of the big, I mean, there's a lot of things in this bill that we have to worry about.
That's a tough one.
The funding, or the fee schedule needs to change completely. So all of our permits are currently a fixed rate for the minimum, and then 2% of the cost of the job for everything over 1,000. We can no longer do that. So we can't base it on the cost of the construction project anymore.
What's
So-
the date that you have to do that by?
So this
They haven't really
becomes
said.
effective in July, but they gave us till January, I believe, for the fee schedule. So we've got about 7 months.
All new programming.
Very expensive.
So we have to reprogram our system, and currently Tyler is not set up for that.
Well, they're gonna have to do
so-
it for all their customers, pretty much, right?
Well, they're nationwide,
Oh,
so it's
that's
just a
right,
Florida
yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
But they're working on some changes that they have to make, and they have put us in touch with, I've got 2 consultants currently that I'm talking to, and then they also have a program through their system. So we're trying to work out details as to who's gonna do that, because they're talking about 250 hours. So I don't have time for that, just in case
So
you're
the-
wondering.
So the costs have to be based on what it actually costs to run the department,
Correct.
which means you just have to figure out what it costs for everybody's salaries and stuff like that in there?
Correct, it's everything, it's
So
the
there's
building, it's the cars.
So basically, you can't make any kind of a profit anymore.
Correct, well, we've always run,
Yeah, you can't do that anyway.
we can't do that, we've never been able to do that.
Okay.
So it's always been we can't make more than what we,
CID
that
can
we
only
spent.
bring in enough to fund itself. We can't fund other city departments based on what is brought in through CID.
Okay.
So that's always
been
been.
in place, yeah.
And we've gotten, we're pretty close
Yeah.
to even
So what was
keel.
the problem then, I wonder? Why they wouldn't have to, if we're already doing
Because
that?
we're not,
We're not
we are not
normal.
the only
The
city.
norm, yeah.
And there are other jurisdictions, I know a lot of them have drones, and their building inspectors do the flight requirements for running the drones, and they have just boats, and they have all kind of stuff. So we don't do that, we keep it pretty basic.
Yeah.
But we are gonna have to change this.
Plus reprogramming and everything.
The reprogramming of the software is the big expense in this one. And so far, I've only gotten 2 prices. They're running about 60 grand for the year. So it's just a heads up. They're both right in line with each other. I'm waiting for the third one, which would be from Tyler itself. They have a program that they can do. I'm assuming they're going to be higher because it's yeah, exactly. So that's going to be my big thing. I have added it into my budget for this year, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys a heads up. That one's a big one. Inventory forms have gone out for the business, Did anybody have questions
Yeah,
about that one?
can we
Sorry.
just stay on this for 1 second?
Yes.
And I think you already answered this question. Will our citizens see any real difference in the price that they pay for permits? Because it sounds like you're almost a break even now.
We are. So I think it'll change as far as how we have to charge it. Some things will go up, some things will probably go down.
Okay.
So we have to figure out what we're spending for each thing. We have to figure out what each inspection costs us to run, how many inspections per job. Currently, I think some things are probably undervalued, and then there's others that are a little overvalued, and it usually breaks kind of even. Whereas this will be, each item will be based on what it costs us to do that.
So then my next question is, you're gonna have to do this kind of evaluation on a yearly basis going forward?
Correct.
Wow, all right.
Yeah, it's gonna have to change annually, because if we
Yeah.
get raises, if we hire new people, if we,
So the
utility
software
bills
has-
go up, gas prices go up. So,
Software's gotta be very flexible.
yes.
So
Okay.
what happens if we make more money than we're supposed to? Where does the excess funds go?
So there is an option in the bill that, and it's in the legislation
Well, no, I mean
currently.
currently even.
Currently, it's in there currently.
Right.
We have an option to send it back to the residents,
Okay.
or we can roll it into the next year, but then it would have to be discounted the following year. We couldn't make money the following year if we rolled it, but it's.
You wouldn't get, say like by 3/4 of the way through the year, you got to covering everything for that year. You don't just stop charging people. So that was my thought. Good. I was like,
No.
okay, well, guess what? You guys get yours for free. And,
Everybody wait.
And I mean,
We're at our
think
max.
Of the last couple of years,
Yeah.
we've been,
Under.
way more than what we were expecting, but then we
Yeah.
also had to add staff. So
Right.
there's some, we
Balances.
had to pay out for outside inspectors and that kind of thing. So, sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. It's kind of, but in general, we tend to run a little bit under, so far. So
But if you're over, you move it to the next year.
it would roll to the following year, but you're supposed to make adjustments to make it so that it doesn't happen continuously.
Okay, got it.
Is this gonna be any kind of a problem for like contractors? Does it get more confusing for them?
Absolutely.
So they're gonna be,
Because-
I'm just saying,
So
that's a
one of
lot
the-
of your problem there.
Some
Well,
of
a lot
the
of-
issues will
Yeah,
be.
you run into a lot of contractors that think they know what this is and then.
Oh, absolutely.
And they'll,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, you just
get
don't
the
want them
attitude.
saying South Pasadena is hard to do business in.
We try to not.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
try to
no,
get-
I know.
To make it so that they understand the situation. One of the a couple of the concerns I have is things like plan review. If they fail a plan review, if the fee is based on me doing one plan review, I then have to charge them for the repeat plan review. And then inspections, if they fail an inspection, currently we give them one fail. If they fail once, we come back the second time, we don't charge them.
Right.
If they fail again for the same reasons, then we charge them the reinspection
Yeah,
fee.
yeah.
But I don't think, I think we're gonna have to charge them every time we go out.
So anytime,
So-
like a contractor does a quote right now, they're using the current, whatever the permit fees are as part of their package.
They usually go by whatever's in our city code.
But
so.
if the job isn't done until later, that could change, right? Okay, I see what you mean.
So there's lots of factors in this one, and Heather has graciously said that she would help me get through the initial financial part of it.
Sure.
So,
I have a quick question.
yes.
Carl, you said the CID cannot make a profit, it can only
It
break
is
even.
supposed to fund itself.
Okay, and I understand that, but I'm looking here, total revenues for fiscal year '25 are $922,700. Total expenses were $810, so what happens to the extra $112,000?
That would likely have gone for the prior year, because I think we were under in the prior year, but I'd have to check with Heather. I think we came in to.
So you can carry it over, profit
You-
over and
you-
use it to offset a
If you
previous
were
year's
short,
deficit?
you can, yeah, there's some accounting processes that they have there where it's not measured.
So it's
like
not black and white year
exact-
by year?
Yeah, there's a
Okay.
little bit of, because they understand you can't hit it on the mark.
Right, that's
all
why I was
the
curious,
time.
I mean.
So, yeah, if you
Okay.
were, I think, were to have a pattern of it, it would become an issue, but I think if you're a little here, there's accounting processes for it,
Okay.
is my
All right,
understanding.
that's-
Heather may be better to answer
Well, that
that
makes more,
question,
that
but
makes more sense. then.
we're aware of it
Thank
and
you.
it's monitored and accounted for,
Okay,
is what I would say.
that makes more
So-
sense. Thank you.
Any update on FDOT and the K5?
Not a
Same old thing.
I have not
God.
heard a word. The
I
last.
saw you responded to somebody at the condo.
Yeah.
They're writing it all the time, people are asking.
Yeah, it's one of those, every time I've talked to anybody, we're getting close. I'm like, okay,
That's all I tell them.
It's a
It's on our
long way
hands.
close.
exactly, I have no
Between the FDOT
no
and
say
the.
one way or the other in how they do
Yeah.
this or how quickly they do their paperwork. It's completely out of my hands.
So, Bank of America, the building's gonna stay, but they're gonna get rid of the trailer back
They
there?
have not spoken to me about any of it.
Nothing.
My understanding is someone got an email that said that they were
Yeah.
no longer going to be in
Because they're my
business.
bank, yeah. I
Yeah,
know
the
my
customer,
bank said
yeah,
that,
they-
yeah.
But they have not spoken to us about that.
Yeah.
So it was seven Brew at 980. I see they've submitted a site plan. Does that imply they're making some alterations to the way the property's currently
Yes.
configured?
So they're proposing to add a walk-in cooler outside, and then they're gonna change, and it's based on a site plan, so bear with me, it might not be exact, but their proposal is to change their drive-through window to an actual sliding door, so that they come out and hand you your coffee, more like the new Chick-fil-A's are, where you can come out, they come out and serve you right to your car, because they're doing a dual lane coming in, so, minor changes,
Okay.
shouldn't be too big a deal, but it hasn't been completely reviewed yet, so just as an aside.
And for the car wash, they're gonna take down both of those buildings, right?
Yes,
Wow.
it's Jay's Fabric as well as the warehouse.
At least it'll clean that.
Car washes everywhere. My car's a
It
mess.
is so bad, look, when you're
Going
coming
to
into
these car
South
washes.
Pasadena, you got that.
And they haven't been as responsive lately with the grass cutting as they were in the past, so.
Yeah.
I know it'd be nice if when they're advertising the car wash, they actually say they're in South Pasadena instead of St. Petersburg
brought
with the
that up.
parentheses of Pasadena.
I brought that up to
I mean-
them as well as to Chipotle, because they both had St. Petersburg listed on their paperwork, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
That's my pet.
Burger Munger says South Pasadena.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Hey.
good.
so we do have our new planners starting.
I know I went by there, because I had to stop by UPS, but it was just empty in there, stripped down. Yeah, so.
So
but they
they're
haven't-
still waiting, I believe, on their liquor license to go
Oh.
through.
before they do it.
So, yeah, so we have received the application for the business tax receipt. We're still waiting on that to be able to issue it.
Yeah.
And
It's beer and wine, right?
I'm not sure, I think it's just one.
I think it might
Just-
just apply.
I think it's
I know
just
the
one.
Burger Munger has got their beer and wine.
Oh.
They've applied for their
They've
permit.
applied for it.
Yeah. so-
Oh, for the wine place is just wine,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Then we got a new person you hired, right? Craig Southern?
Yes, he will be starting in next week.
Awesome
Wednesday
for
of next
you.
week.
Great.
Yes, next one.
Wednesday of next week. So yeah, we're super excited about that. He's got a lot of experience, so should be able to hit the ground running.
Good.
Hopefully.
Perfect.
Any other
Anybody?
questions?
Okay, guess you're done.
Thank you.
You did have a question. What was your question for the business tax receipt? Question you had earlier about, for Heather. Heather said Terry can answer it. So basically, what's happened is that the inventory has come in a little higher on a few of the properties. In addition to that, Renee is great at harassing these people. Bad word.
Great.
Taking a
She
pay,
will-
yeah.
She will follow up regularly with everybody to see where they are on there. So I think that makes a big difference, because
Yeah.
most people kind of, if they get the bill and then they don't pay it, they just kind of blow it off. And I think that's kind of been, in the past, it's been a thing, so, but Renee is kind of diligent on making sure that they're covered, so I think that makes a big
City has
difference.
to pay its bills also. Yep.
Let me
So-
just
Good
ask
for
you,
her.
if someone has to replace their sliding glass door that goes out to their patio, does that have to be hurricane?
It has to meet the requirements, whether it's hurricane or it has the storm shutters, so there are two options. But they have to meet the requirements. Current code. And then you permit.
Front door too.
There you go, all of them.
Oh.
Yep.
All right,
Okay.
all right, thanks.
Thank you.
Carly's up to bat.
Real quick, want to jump to the budget calendar if I can. So I sent you the May and, or the June and July dates. I think Heather had sent you one that went into the fall as well.
Yeah.
Just to point out, I know you've all been through our budget before, but just to point out there are additional meetings in September because we have to have more public hearings for the budget than we have during the rest of the year. And also, the day of the week is moved. We typically move from Tuesdays to Mondays to not conflict. We're not allowed to conflict with Nelson County or the school board. This year, the way the calendar falls, Labor Day kind of gets in the way a little bit. So we actually are moving to Wednesdays instead of Mondays. So this is just a note of please look at your calendars for September because you will have some Wednesday night meetings rather than Tuesday being moved to Monday. So just
That's maybe Thursdays.
we do the in
I know we
June.
always
Yeah,
do.
we always kind of hold those just in case if you all really want to go in depth on some stuff and it takes a little bit longer. We hold those dates just so that you all are available in case. Our goal is to not use them. We haven't used the Thursday dates in the last couple of years. I don't think Heather is hoping to use those Thursdays. So I think she has streamlined a lot of things. So the hope is not to, but we just ask you to hold those Thursday mornings just in case. So, because really it ends up being more on how in depth you all want to go, and we can't necessarily predict that. If you guys aren't,
Right.
if you want to discuss things more in depth, or if you're not in agreement on things, we have to plan for you to have that time to discuss.
June 9th is the only day we have a day and a night meeting.
Correct, yes. We will have our normal evening meeting, but we add a workshop that morning for budget, correct, so. I just wanted to make sure you all saw that for September,
Yeah.
because I know everybody, I think, plans for it to be different, but different usually means Monday. This
Right.
year it means Wednesday, so
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure to point that out. Also be on the lookout for your Form 1 emails. Let me know if there's anything that you need with that. It's all done online now. They used to mail it to you,
So they're not physically mailing us anymore.
they
asking
should
us,
not be, no.
If we get like an email back and.
You should get an email, and then they start letting me know if you all haven't filed. So if you start getting emails from me, just know that they're harassing me to harass you.
Yeah.
So
So we can, what does it do?
July 1st.
July 1st. So if we haven't received anything, we can still go on their website and just. do it.
I believe you can, but you have to have login information,
Oh,
and so
okay.
it may still be the same as like this is only the second year that they've done it
Yeah,
this way.
yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure what you're gonna get. Honestly, I don't know if you're gonna get new credentials for this year or if it's repeated credentials from last year. I'm not sure. You could try and go on right now and see if your credentials
If
from
they'll
last
let you
year
in
would
or not.
work.
Yeah.
You can
Get it out of the
see.
way.
Just for that report we do each year.
Yeah.
So now, if you don't do it by July 1st, you'll get kind of a warning of like, hey, you have missed this. They don't start implementing fines, I think, until like the end of August. But technically, they're due July 1st, technically. So you should be getting
Need
stuff
that
from them
report.
any time now if you haven't already. So just
Well,
like
it's better than the one they wanted.
Well, the one they wanted, they got
Yeah.
from me.
You were the eager beaver and went ahead.
I was stupid. All my family wants to be in my will.
And then we have the dates for the Florida League of Cities Conference. The registration's not open yet, but as you all know, those things, the hotel in particular tends to book up very quickly. So if you let us know that you are planning to go, or if you even might want to go, we would rather book you a room at the conference hotel and then cancel it later
Is it at the Diplomat again?
I believe so, yeah, it's in
Yeah.
Hollywood, so.
Maybe that's time there won't
I'll
be any
tell you,
construction
I
going.
think the
If
work's
you
done.
don't get in there, you get a crappy hotel.
Yeah.
That's what happened at St. Pete Beach.
So-
Yeah.
They were in Ed's bed
Yeah.
somewhere. And it was horrible. It was a really bad neighborhood too.
Yeah, yeah.
We
So-
prefer to book for you and then.
Yeah, please.
It's
And
better
then,
to
because
cancel.
you can cancel it up until like a few days before. So
Yeah.
if you are even questioning whether you want to
Right.
go or not, please let us know so that we can book it, because we know that it's better for y'all to be at the conference hotel.
I can tell you that I'm going, and I'm gonna go a day early,
Okay.
so.
And that's
Yeah,
another
put
point. We
that
can
up.
always, if you're not sure what day you're gonna go and leave, we'll book the full
Yeah.
thing, or a day before and a day on the end, and then
I
we
got
can
some
always
mayor's-
whittle
mayor's
it
Okay,
down.
yeah, do
Mayor's
that for
council
me.
stuff,
But
yeah.
you're going,
So-
okay,
Yeah.
I am not going.
okay. Linda, you said you were planning on it?
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Okay,
I just said Virginia, no.
okay, yep, that's great.
Please
So-
book it as soon as the opportunity.
Yeah,
comes up.
we watch for it every couple of days, or
Yeah.
as soon as it's up, we
Okay.
register you and book. We may have to ask you some follow-up questions. Sometimes the Florida League has questions about certain, like seminars and whatnot, and won't let us complete your registration until we know what those answers are. So we may have to reach out to you, but at least now we know who is,
Well, yeah, that's
who
the
is
thing, because
interested.
they need to send that out so you know if you're gonna go that day, or, well, for you, you have to go
Right.
as the.
You know, there's the
mayor.
ethics class, sometimes you guys can,
Yeah,
you can do
right.
that online also, but some people wanna do it in, there's certain questions that we get that we may not, is your spouse going, are you going to these dinners, so, you'll likely hear from us again, but it's good to know which one of you is planning to go and who's not. So. Alright, so those were my sort of like highlights for you, I don't know what questions you all might have.
Yeah. Well, the complaint, I guess.
The what, I'm sorry?
The complaint. They, so I was contacted by a resident that, wheelchair bound that, had difficulty getting into the building. And wanted to know why we hadn't fixed the elevator yet, so they can come upstairs. Of course, it's a lot more to it than just the elevator, as we all know. Downstairs, you can't just do one thing. There's a lot more to do, and we just can't do that without, because of the FEMA rules and different problems we have. And we've offered to go down and meet them at the car. Of course, it's something we would do anyway. If you called, you couldn't make it up here. And I don't think you've heard back anymore.
No, I
from
mean,
your
she
last
sent an
response.
initial response, was not, didn't like the solution offered of trying to explain why we haven't done certain things yet. It's a little
Yeah.
more complicated than just fixing the elevator or not. And, you know, making sure she knew that we will happily come out to your car to assist you, we'll bring you paperwork. Did not like that solution, actually found that to be somewhat offensive, which I would let you know the people that we have helped that way have been very appreciative of that. They love that they didn't even have to get out of their car.
Right.
We'll bring your library card form down to you, we'll do it in the parking lot with you, that's fine. So we've gotten a positive response to that from other people. I responded again and just reiterated I would love to kind of explain the circumstances a little bit as to why we're in the situation that we're in, the steps that the city is actively taking to try to plan to move forward and what we're gonna do. I've not heard back yet, but I'm very open and would love to sit down and explain it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, we're compliant in terms of handicap compliant with the ramp and everything, or not?
So,
No,
Not
the ramp
really?
is-
So the ramp, my understanding is the ramp is not ADA compliant to current code. It was, when it was built, it is not to current code, which is part of why we haven't touched anything, because when you start doing things, you start working up to that amount of what you can spend on a building before having to bring it fully to code. And the ramp is not the only issue here. Our bathrooms are not ADA compliant. I mean, you can't get a wheelchair. It's a bigger problem than just fix the elevator or fix the ramp.
But you know, it's gonna.
It's a bigger
We'll probably get some
problem.
more complaints over time because people's patience wear out. Anyway,
Yeah.
even if you're trying to help and do what you can. So I just want to make sure everybody understood
Yeah,
now, in case you get something
yeah.
later. I let Carly handle it, trying to go for her. Afraid I might say something that would put us in deeper But, actually, I had, pretty much what she wrote was what I was gonna write, so it kind of worked out there. But yeah, it is difficult for some of our residents, and they can't get in here. And it is very steep out there. I've had people have problems with their electric cards.
Yeah, we don't disagree. I mean,
Yeah,
staff
yeah.
is not saying it's fine, just, we understand. It's just resolving it is more complicated than it looks.
Right,
It's not simple, no.
yeah, yeah.
So,
So, gotta get that new building built.
Joe, what's, any update on our local appropriations bill?
it's in, it's in the plans, but they're in special session right now, so it's more of a bigger question of.
Well, I saw Hooper resigned.
Yeah,
end of the year.
effective later this year, so there'll be a special election for that.
Everybody's already jumping on his seat.
Not gonna, like an hour later, had
Yeah.
his announcement.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I've had conversations with our lobbyists about that specifically, even what does this affect, and they said, it shouldn't change anything for you. So
Yeah.
we're still in a wait and see situation, unfortunately, and also, if you're seeing some other cities that there's been some recent announcements over the last month or two, some neighboring jurisdictions announcing, hey, we got this much money. Whenever I see those, I'm checking with Gray Robinson of like, where's this money coming from? How did that, what is this? Those requests, my understanding, they're actually pulling the funding requests. They're from the previous appropriation cycle. So it's not that they're making these announcements now. Their requests were a year before ours.
And it's finally getting it. Yeah.
They're finally getting the big check and doing the ceremony and doing all the things. So trust me, we're seeing those too and going, wait a minute, did we miss something? And we're not. It's just they're in a different cycle. A lot of those facilities were buildings that they were planning to address anyway. We weren't planning to work on this one for a little while yet. And so if you ever see anything like that, let me know, because I'm trying to make sure that we're not missing opportunities. But my understanding is the stuff that's come out recently from some of our neighbors, they were in a previous cycle. So. Charter review went great yesterday. They had what it sounds like is going to be their last meeting, so we'll have a report for
Actually
you.
come up with something they wanna.
Yeah, they've
maybe send
got
us?
some thoughts.
Okay,
Yeah,
Wait to see it.
yeah. So we'll have a report for you. I'm going to talk to Heather about which workshop to tack it on to in June to try to not keep you here for like hours and hours and hours. So maybe a day that she thinks might be shorter, we'll add that on too.
And I would just like to add, these two up here, incredible professionalism, because when the charter review was done, we closed it, and then it became an open forum. So we had citizens here that just started asking questions about why we're doing this, how's this happened, what's happened. And that probably went on over about an hour of just open questioning.
Yeah.
And these guys just
People in
answered.
the audience.
No, our,
Oh,
just
the
the,
committee.
which are
Okay.
citizens.
Yeah.
Anybody could have been here, it's an
Sure.
open meeting, but, yeah, but we had 6 people just here, I was there, just sitting here asking,
Great.
multiple questions about businesses and the corridor and all kinds of stuff. So it was a very, very good meeting on top of the charter review meeting.
Right, yeah.
great.
that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had a question that had nothing to do with the charter.
That's what, yes.
That's good.
I know how that works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very good discussions. And the charter review went very smooth.
Yeah.
Right. And I know that we don't plan for this, we haven't done it in a long time. I know years ago, we used to do a 9/11 ceremony in September. In fact, at that time, when Kathleen Peters was the mayor, she had connections at the Coast Guard, and she would get a flyover for us and things like that for that day. And then it just became more than we could really handle for that part of time, and we didn't do it anymore. But I've had people questioning the 250th anniversary if the city was gonna do anything. And we haven't planned anything, and it's so close coming up, I don't think there's anything we can do. But I just wanted to bring it up and let you guys know. I've heard it, I don't know if you've been approached by anybody, but just to keep it in your mind that, we really haven't planned. But there'll be plenty of things going on around that everybody else can attend, so. Okay, that's all I got. Everybody done? Don't see any hands jumping up? Nothing from Kelly over there? No? Okay. Well, we are going to adjourn. Thank you.